Yeah, this is Ustumallagam from Denial of God, and you're listening to What's Metal.
It's great that we can catch up here in Mannheim today for our first proper feature for Denial of God. I mean, looking at your career, I would think that, from my perspective, you always were a band that somehow stood apart from the rest. Is that something that you hear often, and can you relate to that somehow?
Yeah, actually, I hear that quite a lot, and I was asked recently, actually, in another interview, how come you still do the same stuff after like 31 years? And I can only say we're very stubborn people. I mean, and it's what we do, it's what we like. There can't be no other way to it. So, yeah, it's what it is. So.
So I think you started the band with your brother in probably 91, yeah? So, I mean, that's really a long time ago. Can you still remember what the initiation point was? What was that special moment where you said, okay, now, hey, guy, we need a band now?
I think it came creeping up on us, actually, because, we got into metal music and all that. We were just listening to records for years and years. And of course, with that, the idea comes, you want to try it yourself too, and we kind of had each our concept for a crazy band, like also like a bit horror concept and all that. But then we thought, because we were living in the countryside and we didn't know any metalheads or anything back then, so we thought, okay, we do this together now instead of having each our band, and then we find some guys, and then it's just a project thing, and it never became a project. It's a full band, so, and it's been the whole time. So, it was a very different time from now. It was very hard back then, because, you didn't have the internet and you didn't know anyone that liked the same stuff like you and all that. Now it's like everywhere. So, but kind of interesting times anyway.
I guess that maybe this kind of like isolation maybe also was something good to craft your own sound, maybe.
Yeah, I actually think so. And I don't know, both me and Astor always had this a bit different taste. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not the mainstream stuff that attracts us. We always try to dig deeper into music. Like, of course, we liked Iron Maiden and Ozzy and all that, like everyone else. But I think I was 12 when I ordered my first demo tape, because I wanted to see what the hell is the underground like. And then it just escalated from there. And I think because it was so great buying demos, you got really inspired to do something yourself and be a part of it. Because the underground was really great back then. And now it's like a bit non-existent in my eyes, kind of. Too many things have changed, but yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the big difference is that everything is immediately accessible in a way.
Accessible way too easily sometimes. Of course, it's nice if you want to check out something really quick or something, but it's also available to a lot of people that you maybe don't really relate to or something. I mean, like the more, I don't know what to call them, like ordinary people, not like die-hard metalheads and all that, but it's all been very watered down, I think, but...
Yeah, I suppose, I'm interviewing you, but maybe I have an opinion as well, obviously, but so the way I see it is that, the lack of, for example, online media and so on back in the day, selected for those people that were extremely passionate about it and had the endurance to pull through with it, whereas nowadays, the hurdle is lower, to form a band or to actually expose yourself to the public, and I think that's what's wrong with a lot of bands. They're going too fast. Actually, they're not thinking it through. Maybe.
Yeah, that's one thing, and I think it has become too easy to form a band. There's too many bands. It may sound funny, but I think there is. And there's too many bands, but too little people who actually write good songs. I mean, it's just too many bands just copy what's already been done. Why not create something yourself? You have to have a voice inside you that you have to let out. And some of those people don't seem to have one. They just write something that's been done to death already, and I don't get that. I mean, it's like bands used to be more unique than now or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's too easy to form a band today, I think. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, but maybe everything has been done already.
Yeah, I don't know. There's always something that pops up when you least expect it and takes you by surprise. But yeah, I wait for it too sometimes. But I listen to a lot of different music, not just black metal or anything, but it could be anything like GGL, Kraftwerk, Misfits, Nick Cave, whatever. I mean, I don't care about the style. As long as it's great. So, yeah.
It's interesting to hear that you like the Misfits, because to my friends I always say Denial of God to me is like the Misfits of black metal.
I've heard that before, actually. I'm not sure I get it, but I take it as a compliment. I mean, I like the Misfits. Good. The old stuff is unbeatable. So, yeah, the Danzig stuff. So, yeah.
I think you crafted your sound fairly early on. I mean, I remember that your very first demo tape was fairly rough, but the second one, The Dawn of...
The Dawn of Emesis.
I don't even try to pronounce it, yeah. I mean, that's already a massive step, I find, in development. Or at least maybe I can just make it out a bit more. And I mean, in contrast to a lot of other bands, you already had these kind of like more doomy parts in there as well, which really stood out from the rest.
It's yeah, that's true. It's the first tape was recorded in a rehearsal room on a ghetto blaster, so yeah, it sounded like crap. And I wish we had used a studio back then, but at that time we didn't have any money or anything, and we just wanted to get something out and get the name out. The second demo was the first time in a studio, and yeah, it's true what you say. It's a very varied style, kind of. We inspired by everything, really, like black death, doom, prog, even some prog bands. It's a bit of everything, really, and I guess that shows in the end. And it's often why we've often heard that the typical like Scandinavian black metal fan or something thinks Denial of God is a too heavy metal for him, maybe, and the heavy metal fans think it is too black metal for them. So we're kind of stuck in between often. But it has become, I think people are understanding it better today. But there's been a lot of that, like you're too hard for one of the parts. Yeah,
I think the major attention. Yeah, you only got when your debut came out, your debut full length. At least in my books, I think this is when like or maybe more established bands would report about you, because a lot of the releases before were obviously EPs 7 inches and so on. I know that you explained yourself before why that is, but obviously this is radio. Our listeners will hear it probably for the first time now. They're also going to listen to some of your songs. So maybe you can explain briefly this fairly unusual discography that you have.
Yeah, it's funny because people always bring that up still with all the EPs, even if it's years ago we've done an EP. But I know it's still a part of the discography, and that's fine. It was simply because we have this thing that when we write songs, they have to fit together for an album, for example. There has to be a red line running through it somehow. And we had some songs that didn't fit an album, kind of atmosphere-wise or story-wise or whatever, and then it just ended up on an EP, a 7-inch instead. That's pretty much why. And also, of course, because we often had line-up problems in the past and all that, so often we recorded maybe just a few tracks and that was it or something. So with the first album, it got way more stable because we got a real lineup there, and that went on for many years. So that was really good. But yeah.
That was 2006, right, when that album came out, The Horrors of Satan. Are you still happy with that one?
Yeah. I'm happy with everything we've done, really. But the albums are, of course, my favorites, I would say. The Horrors of Satan, the first album, was pretty much what we wanted it to be. It's very unique in its own way, I think. But I still think it was actually album number 2, Definitely Beyond, that opened the most doors. It opened more doors than the first album did, actually, because suddenly we got access to big festivals and all kinds of stuff, and it got really raving reviews everywhere and all that. So, no, it was a very interesting time. It was really going forward all the time. But yeah, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that this only happened with the second full length. Yeah, because I thought that like a song like "The Curse of the Witch" from the Horrors of Satan would be kind of like like a classic signature song in a way, right? But yeah, so sales were higher for the follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because Horrors of Satan is still being repressed all the time, so it's still selling. I don't know who buys that. But apparently,
I have like 10 copies. Huh?
Apparently, a lot of people, because it's still selling really well. It's something must have been done right, But I think people found out more about the band with the second album, because we appeared in some bigger magazines and on some bigger festivals, and suddenly there's a bigger crowd hearing about your band. So, yeah. Oh well.
So I'm not sure if we have to move. No, I thought the guys of Ancient would drive us to death here. Like we'll end up as roadkill here. No.
Not before the gig.
No. Where was I? Oh yeah. So okay, full length albums. Well, I mean, as you said, you need a bigger story to fill an album, and maybe with having more space to express yourself. On a full-length record, I suppose that also maybe on the other side, maybe on the side of the media, listeners will find at least something they can relate to. They might not like every song, but the chances are high that they pick out something that they really like, as compared to maybe like a 7-inch, right? Mm-hmm. Also, like 7 inches, I don't think that there would be any promo really to the press, really. No.
Albums are the way to go, but we are just very slow with writing stuff, because all the members are living all across Denmark, so we can't like rehearse every weekend or something. That's not doable, simply because we have to travel a lot for it. So we meet up every now and then and rehearse, and this year we have rehearsed one time so far. One time. Yeah. All the gigs we have played, without rehearsals. So the gigs are our rehearsals right now. It's a bit crazy year, but we haven't been able to do it otherwise. So, but it's working. But of course, it slows you down when you want to do new stuff. That's not really happening right now, but of course it has to soon. Yeah. And now we have a new drummer, and I think that will speed up the process a bit again, because he's a younger guy. He has a lot of energy and can kick our asses a bit. So, but should be good.
Sometimes you need that, right?
Yeah, we're getting old, but not tired, but yeah.
So you used to have a reputation for fairly graphic live shows, at least back in the day, what I've heard. So what can we expect tonight?
Oh, well, there won't be any throwing with meat and maggots on the audience. I can say that, and also we're not gonna burn anything tonight, because not all venues are very happy about that and all that. And pyros we had to kind of drop because we had a big accident with it and stuff. So it will be like a funeral tonight anyway, with gravestones and skulls everywhere and stuff. Yeah, should be good still. Coffin and everything. Yeah, all the nice stuff.
That's cool. So the show's called What's Metal? So from your point of view, what would you think is metal?
Metal. What metal is? Metal is not giving a flying fuck about anything. Doing your very own thing. Looking the fucking way you want. Letting your hair fucking grow. Do whatever you want. It's not do anything to be part of a crowd. You probably are, but you don't do anything to be it, because you're your own guy, kind of. I got a lot of shit in school for doing exactly that, and I never regretted that. Never, ever. Metal today seems it's been so commercialized. Like, there's so many people getting into it now that they never fucking lived that lifestyle or anything. And they look like they work in a fucking bank and they would never grow their hair or get a tattoo or whatever. I mean, it's just, nah. It's a different world. It's two worlds clashing, kind of, in my book. And I know which one I want to belong to, so, yeah.
We'll keep that.
It's hard to describe, even if you know clearly in your head what you actually mean. It's hard to put into words somehow.
I can relate to that. I know exactly what you mean, yeah. Okay, so I think these are great closing comments. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.